all stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on our agenda is our commission reports. And Commissioner McDowell, do you have some things you're going to be doing this week for the city?
I have my CareNet meeting tomorrow at 3:30. I have Thursday Mason County Chamber member luncheon out at the PUD. And Friday I have EDC luncheon at the PUD. That's my week.
That's it. I have Wednesday, I will have a criminal justice board meeting. On Thursday, I will be attending an Economic Development Council board meeting, and I will not be around on Friday, so I won't be attending their EDC luncheon on Friday. And just a note, I will not be here at next Monday's meeting, so I won't be here next Monday. And that concludes our Commission Weekly Reports. Next is a public comment opportunity, and if anyone would like to speak, this is your 3-minute opportunity to do that. We welcome comments from the public, and so you just need to sign in, and we would be happy to hear from the public. If not, we will move forward into our consent agenda, and are we ready for a reading of that consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes. Could we please have that?
Mayor, may I?
Point of
stop
order.
for a second. There was one additional item under the commission reports.
Oh, a letter.
Yes.
Forgive me, I just got carried away with myself and I didn't see that. So would you like to tell us what that is?
I would. Earlier this month, you received a letter, and it was from Amy Davis, who is the chair of the Shelton Library Advisory Board, and she submitted a request to you and the commissioners and asked that that you appoint Commissioner Tracy Moore as the board's liaison to the commission, and that is for the Shelton Library Board. And so Tracy indicated that she'd be willing to accept the position, and they're asking that you appoint her to that one more board that she could serve as the liaison.
Okay, so this is just a simple matter of concurring that that'd be a good idea.
Yes.
Yep, and I don't have any objections to that. Do you have any reason for that? Okay, so at this time, we are going to accept that recommendation, and Tracy Moore is now our, a liaison.
Yes.
From the library to us.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for the interruption.
No, my fault. I didn't read the fine print. Okay, we're now ready for the reading of the consent agenda, please.
Agenda. Vouchers numbered 12767 through 12873 in the amount of $361,867.06. Handwritten warrant number 12762 in the amount of $24,420.92. Payroll warrants numbered 2737 through 2882 and 12734 through 12760 in the amount of $629,975.83.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
And I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Noes? Noes. The consent agenda passes. All right. There is no old business tonight, and there is an item under new business, and we are going to turn the meeting over to our, it looks like Mr. Craig Gregory is going to talk to us about some public works surplus vehicles.
Commissioner McDowell, Mayor Cronce, Public Works is asking for permission to surplus 3 vehicles, 2 of which are out of the EM&R fund, and 1 of which that's out of the sewer fund. We will be bringing that forward next week. Do you have any questions at this time on those?
Any questions? I was just looking at it, and it just looks like you're going to be selling some vehicles.
Yes.
You haven't sold them yet, but you're gonna sell them.
2 of them we will be selling through sealed bid, which are 2 pickups. The bucket truck that was replaced with a used one from the PUD, 3 that we got, will be going down to Ritchie Brothers, which is an auction
Right.
house down south.
Okay. And then you want to take that money, and again, it looks like you want to use the money for maintenance, repair on existing vehicles.
The money will go back to those funds that the vehicles were purchased out of for maintenance and possibly replacement.
Possibly replacing some, okay, it sounds like a good thing to me.
I have one question.
Sure.
Why do you do 2 sealed bids and 1 to the auction?
The bucket truck, which is a very large piece of equipment, would be hard to get rid of. We've tried to do it in the past through sealed bid, Craigslist, and the best avenue that we've found is through auction on that larger piece of equipment.
Where is that auction place?
It is down past Centralia.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So if I can paraphrase what he said, it's kind of like the small little pickup trucks that you and I would use, we would buy them. But the big loader trucks, there's not a lot of guys around, so they send them down there where all those guys come together on a Saturday and they bid on them. And it's easier on the bigger equipment, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and so next, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our Assistant City Manager, Vicki Look, and she's going to report on the Tourism Fund applications.
Yes, so this is something that we do every year. We ask for applications during the month of August, and then we have a tourism committee, which is required by law, and the mayor is the chairman of that committee. And it's made up of 2 individuals or organizations that can apply for the funding for operations of events or running a tourism facility, those sorts of things, and 2 members that are collect the taxes. And so we have the Super 8 and the Shelton Inn, who are participants, and actually Mr. Kim came from the Super 8 this last time, and he sat in on the committee meeting with us. Annette McGee and Patty Tupper sat in representing the Shelton, Christmastown, Kiwanis, Dwayne Wilson. So we had the same sort of applications that we generally receive year to year, which is the Chamber of Commerce. They run a visitor center for us. And the Shelton, Christmastown, Kiwanis Bluegrass from the Forest is an event that they hold each year. Mason County Forest Festival, Mason County Historical Society Car Show, and then there's the Mason County Historical Society Museum Visitor Center that is across the street over there. We had the same applications. They requested a bit more in funding based mainly on some of the increased costs to the events or operations, utilities, or maybe garbage fees and those sorts of things. We had a new request, which was came from the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, which is the Downtown Visioning Committee, and they wanted to put signage along the highway out there, and particularly sign the motels here in the city, as they're the ones that we're getting this tax from. So the budget information on that was we had a beginning fund balance of almost $118,000, and we projected revenues for $50,540 for 2017. So we have plenty in the ending fund balance, and the committee wanted to recommend that we do the increased funding for the next year, and also that we approve the Downtown Visioning Committee request for the signage and along the highway and such. So the total request for 2017 is $57,276. The commission has the ability to either approve the recommendation as recommended, or not funding something at all, but you can't change it and say, well, they asked for 13 and recommended 13, but we're only going to give them 6. You either have to fund it or not, and the recommendation is that you fund it at the level that was requested. So
That's exactly right. And if I'd like to speak first to this, because I am a non-voting member on that board, and this is my 5th year in a row, and Annette McGee and Dwayne Wilson, they keep a tight thumb on that ship, as you don't get a lot of extra money unless you earn it or something. So I will say that Dwayne wasn't at the meeting this time, but Patty Tupper sat in for him, and it was a good discussion. We had one of the representatives from the Super 8 gentleman came, and he was there also this year, and that I fully endorse the levels and what the funding is go to. A little notice that the extra money that the chamber was asking for the signs out on the highway, the chamber is just handling the money. It directly goes into, I believe, the Department of Transportation. And so they're asking for the money, not for their purpose, but they're asked to just use, and that's in connection with all of our downtown tourist projects and the visioning process. And so I would highly like to see that Commissioner McDowell and I agree on this, that that's a good thing to do with the money.
Does the money come directly from the hotel motel tax?
It
for
does.
the year?
It's a dedicated fund.
That's a good amount.
Yes,
the year.
it's increased over the last few years. We were looking and, getting around 37,000, and it increased last year, and again, it's projected to increase again this year. So,
Glad to see that you don't take it down to zero.
right.
No, no,
Well,
yeah,
we've kind of reserved off some of the funding, thinking that there may be a major tourism project we could do, and we still will have funding there for that.
Good.
So, be creative.
Yeah, good.
And so this does not require a motion, it's just another.
What I would ask you to do is place it on the consent agenda for next week, because we have to put it into the budget for 2017. So it will be presented along with the rest of the preliminary budget after you make a motion and approve it. Of course, you could always prove it tonight if you want, and not put it on the consent agenda. And then we just have them roll it into the preliminary budget, and it would be adopted at the same time that the final budget is adopted.
I don't anticipate any problems by putting on the consent agenda. It's a proper protocol, and that way we can have all 3 commissioners weigh on it if Commissioner Moore had any questions about that. So
Okay.
I think we'd like to do it, but I will remind everybody here that this city really runs on volunteer power, and that all of this, the tourist dollars and all these different groups that get that money, and the hotels and the different situations, all this stuff is really, it helps supplement a lot of the areas where the government isn't doing things. There's a lot of, like, the Historical Society and all this kind of stuff that helps us in car shows and all this stuff, really makes the city a happening place. And so I think what we'll do is follow the recommendation from staff to place this on the consent agenda for next Monday, and that way the other Commissioner McDowell, Moore, can have an opportunity to see this also.
Right.
Sounds
Thank
good?
you so much.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. Next, we'll turn this over to our city administrator, Ryan Wheaton, for any final touches or his report that he might have for us, I guess.
I do have a brief report, Mayor and Commissioner McDowell. We, a couple weeks ago, we came and gave an update on a couple public works projects that we have right now. So we attempted startup for 2 projects last week. On Wednesday, we did the startup for the Upper Mountain View Pressure Zone Tank, which is the new tank up by Mason County Public Works. That was successful. At this point, that tank we can operate it. The issue we have right now is that we do not have any customers for that tank. So we're going to provide a full debrief about that project next week. We'll have Public Works here at the study session to provide a more full debrief on that. But I wanted to give you that update. The other startup was Thursday. We went and attempted startup at the Ingleside Booster Pump Station. This project, unfortunately, was not a successful startup. We had our entire water department up there. We also had consultant teams from 2 of the groups that helped with that project. And after a full day up there, we were not able to get that booster pump operating as expected. So we will have, again, we'll have a full debrief on that next Monday, but I wanted to give you an update because we let you know that we were going to attempt those last week.
Yes. Okay. These are all things that happen in life, and we'll just figure what we're going to do about that.
Yes.
Does that complete your administration report?
That does.
Okay. And so is there any other final touches then for the upcoming meetings here, or anything else we need to know about?
Not at this point.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you all very much. Our next meeting will be next Monday, October 24th, 2016, at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. This meeting is adjourned.